I've done
All
it.
right. Well, then we're live.
Hello, everyone. We are just getting started and we
Hello.
are getting into our session. Welcome to everyone who's joining us.
Let us know you can hear us, see us. Say something in the chat. Tell us where you're from, something like that. Let us know.
Yeah, it would be good to see everyone. We normally like to hear where people are from, where they're dialing in from,
small children to the beach
and making sure that that's all good. Hello. So we are just getting started with this. Oh yes, I can see Edith. Hello, thank you for letting us know. Hello there from the Netherlands. Dankjewel for joining us. Hello, New Hampshire. Hello there, London. We have UAE in the building,
There's
and we
always
also
that
have
moment of like you said it, and then there's a lag between when people start responding. You're like, is anyone there at all? And then all of a sudden, everything. Hello.
everyone's here. Hello, everyone. For to Queens and Southeast London, we've got Orlando, 360 plus India. Well, welcome India. I think it's a bit late for you, so thank you
Wow.
very much for joining us. And Montreal, Canada, we've got Canada in the building. Rodrigo from Honduras, bienvenido. And we have some lovely folks joining us
Some
from
people
all
from
over
the
the place.
Carolinas.
Yeah, it's always such a pleasure to have so many people from different parts of the world joining us for this
Multiple
session.
people from Scotland. Nice.
Yeah, it's really good, and I think it's great to see so many people who are interested in this topic. Today we have some fantastic guests that will be joining us shortly. They are waiting in the wings. What do you think, George? Should we say hello to everyone?
Let's do it.
Okay, so today you are joined by me and George from Wix Studio, and we have our special guests today. We have Ms. Flora Bassi from Lenora Tech. She's an accessibility expert, and she's going to be talking to you about the EEA and lots of other accessibility topics. Welcome, Flora.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me.
Wonderful. And who else have we got, George?
We have I'm gonna tell you who she is, but then I'm gonna tell you a little bit more. We have Tal Bavli, she's product manager here at Wix Studio, and I'm particularly excited to introduce Tal because Tal actually hired me several years ago, and we used to work on the same team a lot more closely every single day. So it's just great to be on this with her, and the fact that we're here for such a good cause. May is, of course, Global Accessibility Awareness Month, and we're here with Flora too. And so it's going to be a great time. I like it when we get to go a little bit beyond SEO, of course.
Yes, it is a wonderful topic. And let's see what we got here today. We're just jumping into it. So today we're getting started in just a couple of minutes. We're just letting everyone get through. We just introduced you to our speakers in terms of FAQs, which will show up in the comments. So please support your fellow webinar attendees. Yes, this webinar is being recorded. You're watching live stream on YouTube, and so it will be at the same live stream link later on. We will also post it with the deck and with transcripts, which have speaker notes and timestamps and all of those things to make sure that they're accessible. We'll have that on our webinar webpage. Where you signed up for the webinar, you will get a YouTube link to where the recording is as well, sent to you via email. And you can ask questions in the chat. We will do our best to answer them as we can. And you can check out our next webinars at the SEO Learning Hub. So, George, do you want to take us through the agenda?
Yeah, just one more thing to add. If you go into the webinars page today, then there is no webinar posted for next month yet. That'll be coming out in the next week or so. I also wanted to drop this link in the chat, Flora's content about the European Accessibility Act for you to bookmark separately. It's a great accompaniment to this, but I'll also be dropping it again as we kind of proceed here. Oh, nice. You got it. Okay, and there's more about that there too. Yeah, Crystal, you want to? Okay, great. So we're going to get started with Flora is going to walk us through her presentation about what we need to know here about accessibility, especially as we proceed. You know, it is May and we're promoting it in Global Accessibility Awareness Month, but accessibility is 24/7, 365. And I want you to take that as you kind of listen in on what she says. Then we're going to transition over to a bit about Wix accessibility tools that you can use for your sites or your client sites from Tal Bavli. And I'm going to be taking questions during the Q&A. If they're simple questions, then I'll just answer them in the chat. But if they're not, then I'm going to save them to the end.
Okay, wonderful. So as George mentioned, we're going to be going through a lot of topics today. There's some great resources that, and we'll post these later as well, but this webinar is brought to you by some of these fantastic resources. So Flora wrote this great article on the European Accessibility Act. There's another article on SEO and accessibility, generally speaking. And then if you go to the Wix Help Center, you can get lots more details about the Wix Accessibility Wizard for Wix Classic and also for Wix Studio, and that will be lots of information there. So with that, I am going to stop sharing and I'm going to bring on Flora. Flora, are you ready to share your presentation?
I am ready to share.
Okay, let's get you on. Let's add to stage. And with that, I will hand it over to you.
Perfect. Hi, everyone. My name is Flora Basie. I'm a digital accessibility expert. I like to describe myself. Usually in the audience, sometimes we have people with low vision or people who are blind. So I'm a Black woman. I'm currently rocking, I will say, some black and burgundy red hair, and I'm wearing a red suit and a black blouse. So feel free to describe as well yourself in the chat or comment section. If you never tried it, trust me, it's fun. So today I want to talk to you about accessibility and SEO essential. So to move forward, one thing that I think is important to keep in mind is just that you have to make sure that your digital presence is inviting, welcoming everyone, including people with visible or invisible disabilities. Trust me, when you prioritize accessibility, you are actually meeting legal standard compliance, but you're also creating an environment where everyone feels just valued. All right. And so the next thing I want to talk to you about is really how I break down my presentation just to make it easy for you to follow. I love roadmap and I love milestones. So today I'm going to talk to you about the European Accessibility Act, or for short, EAA, or some people will say EAA. We will talk a little bit about, better accessibility equal better SEO, and I'm going to tell you why. And I'm also going to share a little bit of accessibility step by step that you can choose to follow to meet your accessibility compliance and create inclusive and accessible digital experience for everyone. The last thing I will be sharing with you today is a real world example. Sometimes people talk, share, but you don't see anything. So be prepared, because not only I will show some example, but I have some little demo for you to, to see how a person is navigating your website or your client website in a different way. So please stay tuned, because I'm getting there. And at any point in time, if you have any question, just put it in a comment or in a chat, and George will let us know exactly what you're asking, and I will try my best to clarify. All right, so let's move forward. Let's talk about the European Accessibility Act. But before that, I have a question for you. Please play along with me. Take a wild guess. Don't feel shy at all. We are all here to learn together, to collaborate, and to engage. So don't feel shy. The first question I have for you is, what percentage of websites are inclusive and accessible to everyone? Option A, 50% of website. Option B, 10% of websites. Option C, 90% of website. Please put it in the comment right now. Play along with me, and George is going to tell me what he sees on the chat or what he sees in the comments. And again, don't feel shy. I know that there will be. Yes, go ahead.
A lot of people saying 10%, but like personally, my guess is even less than that, just if I'm guessing off of the amount of pages that actually have like correct title tags and meta descriptions. But a lot of platforms will make up the difference. So let's find out right now.
Yes, I'm excited to see what people think. All right, people, don't feel shy. Any comment there, George?
It's B. Most people are saying B. There's a few like C's here or there, but like we're solidly B. We can show them.
Love it. All right, guys, you are right. The B is the answer. I will say 10% of websites are inclusive and accessible to everyone. Actually, there have been survey that shows that 90% of websites are failing compliance for accessibility, which means that there are a lot of people with disabilities and visible and invisible who sometimes are rejected by website because they are not inclusive. So kudos to everyone for answer B. Now let's talk about the EAA requirement. So the EAA mandates that products and services should be made accessible to everyone, especially those with visible and invisible disabilities. This is done because we want to create a fair, balance and a fair approach, equal approach for everyone. So who should be, covered by, that implementation or that requirement or that mandate? Well, let's see. Everyone that is using a website, there are exceptions, I will get to that. Everyone that are providing services, for example, in the digital space, such as website or mobile applications or any kind of digital kind of content. And also the EAA will cover, kiosk and other platform as well. But today I'm going to focus a little bit on the digital presence like website and applications. But also, if you have an e-commerce, if you are, your service is in transportation, your service in, like, there are so many websites and, industry that will be affected by the EAA. As I said, there are a few exceptions, okay, like micro enterprises where you have maybe less than 10 people working in your organization, or maybe you are hitting a revenue that is below 2 million euro. You could be exempted for that. But again, good accessibility create more visibility and more attraction, so why not do the right thing right now? The other thing to keep in mind when it comes to EAA requirement is that there is a need for compliance for WCAG 2.1 level AA. So as we are venturing in the WCAG actually stands for Web Content Accessibility Guideline. Is a set of guidelines just to help you meet the compliance and attract more users and just make your digital presence more friendly. There are different versions as we are moving and things are changing in technology, but right now the version that everyone is following is WCAG 2.1 level AA. The other thing that you have to keep in mind is the impact on business. What does that mean for you? Well, if you comply with the EAA requirement, you will be able to, comply with the legal requirements and you will avoid any fine or lawsuits. But if you do not comply, you might actually, well, if you comply, you will be rewarded, kind of. But if you do not comply, yes, you might face some fines or legal suit. And also, when you are following accessibility in terms of a business impact, you are actually enhancing your SEO and you are attracting more clients. So why not? Now let's move forward with better accessibility and better SEO. And again, George, if there are any questions, just stop me and ask me so I can clarify things. Now let's move about with better accessibility and better SEO. Question for you guys. You probably already noticed I like engagement. That's just me. What benefits do you think a more inclusive website could bring? Option A, increase crawlability. Option B, increase audience reach. Option 3, increase crawlability and audience? Let me know in the chat or in the comments.
Flora, I'd like to take this opportunity while everyone's, guessing away here at the benefits. There was a good question. I'm going to bring it up on screen. So if you're all looking, we can show it right now. Summer Meyer asks, does one have to apply for this exemption? We're a small nonprofit teaching online mindfulness classes. Our budget is $8,000. So they meet the micro businesses requirement, assuming from a financial standpoint. I don't know how many employees you have here, but before we get into any detail, if we even can at this point, it's very important for you to understand the legislation where you're marketing. And so I would say that if you're a service business, right, there's already exemptions in there. Sometimes the exemptions are categorical. If you're in this category, then you don't have to worry about it. But definitely refer to the fine print in all the legislations and refer with your lawyer. You should have an attorney. Flora, is there anything you want to add here before we move on?
No, that's perfectly said, because again, we are not, my company is not a legal, in the legal industry, so we cannot really tell you exactly what to do. You have to check with your lawyer and also check with the country you are doing business with to understand the fine prints and how your company can be exempted. But again, the range should be enough to give you a ballpark of where you stand. But again, just double check to be safe.
Okay, so it looks like a lot of people are answering C here. We have a quick question on what is crawlability, and crawlability is how easily your website can be crawled by various software. So how easily can that software interpret your website, essentially? So there's different types of crawlers for SEO, there's for AI, and so on. There's very much different purposes, but that, generally speaking, is what we're referring to here. A lot of C's here. Let's see what the answer is. Flora, can you give it to us?
Yes, so the answer is C. Most increase crawlability and audience. And so now let's talk about accessibility and SEO, which is here are the key points that you need to keep in mind. So better accessibility, better SEO means that you are creating an opportunity in the digital space to reach a broader audience. So when you have a good accessibility compliance on your website, you are making it easy for people to reach out, to engage with your content. The other thing that is really good, it's about, like I said, improving SEO. So we were talking, George were explaining what is crawlability. So search engine, for example, like Google, prioritize well-structured websites, and that allow more people to access your content because of visibility and so much more. The other thing that is really good about good accessibility and SEO is a positive brand image. Many organizations, many government agencies, many countries are now prioritizing accessibility. So when you show your commitment to embracing accessibility, your brand becomes more positive. There is a better positive image around your brand. People trust more your brand. There is a loyalty applied to that. There's so much more. Another thing that you have to keep in mind is enhanced user experience. When you make your website easy and accessible, people want to stay longer. They want to navigate, they want to engage, they want to see more. Actually, I will show you a quick demo of a limitation with a website, and you will understand why people will just drop that website and move elsewhere. So it's really good to apply accessibility for better user experience. And we were talking about improved crawlability. Accessible websites are quite easy to crawl and go through by search engine, which allows website to rank better and to have more visibility. I hope that makes sense. All right, so let's talk now about accessibility step by steps. And as you know me, I have another question for you. Don't feel shy, just answer. So How confident are you that your website or maybe your client website meets accessibility standards? A, 95%. And again, we're not here to judge you, just play along. We just want engagement and see where you stand. No judgment, I promise. A, 95% confident. B, 50% confident. C, 15% confident. Let me know in the comment or in the chat.
This is pretty interesting because we're getting a lot of we get a few A's and a lot of C's. So people that are already big advocates of accessibility, or people that are aware that there's a gap that they need to fill here.
Yes.
Lucas shows a 100% confident it doesn't.
Whoa, this is good.
You're in the right place.
I love it. I see some people even say D, 0%. I just love it. Thank you guys for sharing. We love it. I think I'm not surprised because in the journey for accessibility, we are all in different places, and that is okay. That's why we have, session like that to bring more awareness and to give you tips and guidance. So now let's talk about the steps approach that you can use, right? Step number 1, you need to do some testing. You can use automated tool to do testing and manual tool to do manual testing, I will say. It's good to do the combination of both two because both two have their pros and cons. I'm not going to go too much into that, but the article that George has shared with you in terms of the link, use it to go and read more. So automated tools could be like, if you are using Wix, Wix. Wix has a free tool, a free accessibility wizard that you can use to scan your website after creating it to see where you stand. If you're good or if you are not so good. Again, if you're not so good, that's fine. There is a way to fix things, okay? You also have to do testing, manual testing. For example, you may use a keyword to navigate the website to see if things are okay. Or you can use a screen reader, or you can use the visual testing. You can use voice command to test your website. There are so many combinations that you can use to do the testing. But again, when it comes to accessibility, we're not just testing for one thing only. So there is a combination of things that needs to happen. But Tal will come later on and tell you how Wix makes the process a little bit easy for many people. The second thing that you need to do quickly is fix the issues. Well, one good thing is to know that there are issues, but the next thing is to fix them. And again, there are many ways and resources. I will share a few resources toward the end of the session to show you that you can actually level up your skills. It's not scary, trust me, it's not. Level up your skill and start fixing those issues. The third thing you need to do is validate the fix. So once you finish fixing the issues, validate the issues again. And then you will be using, again, the automated tools, scanning again, and do the manual testing again. It's important to do that just so you know that you're not leaving any gap or any failures behind, okay? The fourth thing I will say that you will do, once you are very satisfied with where your website stands in terms of meeting accessibility compliance, you clean up most of the failures and things of that nature, you can now create an accessibility statement and add it to your website. This is going to indicate your commitment to accessibility. It's also going to provide contact information in case somebody wants to share feedback or somebody has a question, and this is really good. It's important to listen to your audience, especially those who have a disability as well. The last point I would say, point or steps number 5 is ongoing monitoring and support. Some people, I like to illustrate that in this way. You will not tell me that you will brush your teeth one time and that's it for your life. You will still introduce your mouth or your tummy with new food. That's why you're brushing your teeth every day. The same is happening for accessibility. As you maybe introduce a new web page in your website, or maybe you're changing content or you're updating things, you still have to test and make sure that it's not breaking the inclusive and accessible experience that you have created. I hope that makes sense. Let me know in the chat if that makes sense. Just put makes sense. Perfect. So now let's talk quickly about the real world example. Yes. Any comment, any question, George? Are we good?
Yeah, we're getting a lot of support for you, Flora. We have some questions, but I kind of want to get to there's another part of the presentation that may answer them. But yeah, people are enjoying your vibe.
Yes.
We're all clear to keep going, I feel.
Perfect. So let's
if you like Flora's vibe, give us a thumbs up, please. On YouTube.
Thumbs up, thumbs up. We will take everything. Let's talk now about real world examples. Yeah, I love that part. And you probably will love it too. But before that, question for you. What do you think happens to businesses that are ignoring accessibility? I couldn't resist. I just had to put those cute puppies pictures. Like they're so cute. Okay, nothing. Option A, nothing with the cute puppy picture. Option B, lawsuit with an image of a lawsuit. Option C, market restriction. And on the image, it said restricted area, no authorized entry. So anyway, I love those pictures. Let me know in the chat or comment what you think is the right answer. Oh my goodness, I see so many answers. A lot of C's, a few B's, and I think I saw also a nothing there. Yes, nothing will happen to us.
Okay, I want to take this second as you all are answering just to share a quick anecdote that was kind of ruin a little bit of this answer. But let's take the EAA aside, because all of these accessibility legislations that have been popping up over the last decade or so kind of share a lot of the same DNA, but the way they're enforced is different in every locale. I know of SEOs, personally know of SEOs who worked at agencies that have gotten litigated against because their websites were inaccessible. And I tell this story often because if you're working at an agency, it's something that you can recommend, something that you can offer, because there are attorneys, law firms whose business model is to partner up with somebody who needs a screen reader or other accessibility features that are mandated by law. And then they'll kind of find websites and verticals that aren't compliant. Then they'll lawyer up and sue. And they're looking for a payout. So it really depends on where you're at and what the laws are here. So keep that in mind. But I'm seeing a lot of C, market restriction, in addition to B. Flora, what is the answer for us?
Let's see, what is the answer? Well, B and C will be the answer. But again, it will depend. If you are in the exemption bracket, maybe nothing will happen to you and your business. But if you are, trying to get more client and you fall under, out of the exemption bracket, yeah, you might actually face a lawsuit, fines, a market restriction. But I'm getting ahead of time. Let's move on, and I will talk to you more about it. So avoiding the risk, like George, you said, there have been a lot of accessibility acts and laws around creating inclusive experiences for everyone, including people with disabilities. So let's talk about global accessibility legislation. I live in Canada and in Ontario, and we have the AODA, which is the Accessibility for Ontarians with a Disability Act, which is also requiring that businesses, especially public services or industry be accessible to everyone who have visible or invisible disabilities, and also some private sectors. In America, we also have the ADA, the American with Disability Act, which is also mandating that inclusive experiences should be provided to everyone, including those with disabilities. And we are talking today about EAA, the European Accessibility Act. Again, you can see the trend. Accessibility is not going anywhere. Creating an inclusive experience for everyone and for elder people. People are aging. I'm aging. I don't know about you, but I don't have a magic wand to get younger. So I always say that I don't have a disability, but I see sometimes blurry content because my eyes are so dry and I have to use artificial tears to help me get better. So good color contrast and sometimes good font help me. So accessibility is not just for people with disabilities, but for everyone. Now, legal fine. Listen, if your business is not meeting accessibility compliance, you might be fined, especially with the EAA. Fine can go from 5,000 euro to 500,000 euro. That's a lot of money you don't want to lose. The other thing is the loss of market access. Indeed, with the EAA, again, you could be banned from providing your services or your product in the European Union market. You don't want to do that. So again, just embrace the new approach of providing access to all, and you should be good. There will be daily penalties as well. So listen, just watch out for those risks. If you are creating content website for yourself, for your business, or for clients, just make sure that you are well aware of this information, because guess what? This client can be sued, but they can also sue you because of what you've created for them. So just keep that in mind. All right, so now let's see a few examples of businesses in the real world that had a little bit of trouble, or maybe they gain good things for meeting the compliance. We have, for example, well, there are many examples out there that you can Google and search and find, but here are a few examples. In terms of failures, a company that did not meet, or embrace accessibility, we have Target. Target in 2006 were sued, and in 2008 had to pay $6 million and improve their accessibility presence on the website. Yeah, 6 million. Some people sometimes think that accessibility is like, it's not that much. It is a lot. It is a lot, and it's only fair for a human being to have access like everyone. So why closing the door to some people? So there is a cost associated, and that's a big cost. Let's talk about success. Tesco, return on investment, ROI. So Tesco actually in the UK, it's also an e-commerce website, and they invested £35,000 to make their website inclusive and accessible for incredible individual and client with disabilities. They were mostly targeting people who are using the screen reader, but let's just see what happened. They literally earn $13 million annually in increase for online sales. What? £35,000 to 30 million. This is big. I mean, I don't know if you can hear that, but this is big. Let's talk about another success story about Wix accessibility effort. Wix has launched in 2020, and Tal will probably give better context around Wix accessibility effort. And they created the Accessibility Wizard in 2020, and that has helped many builders, many developers, many owners to create inclusive and accessible experiences. But again, you need to know what to do in order to put everything together. But I love it, Wix. Side story, when I started my own entrepreneurship, I was trying to create my own website, and yeah, I have trouble finding any website builders that cares about accessibility. That was a shame. So I'm very excited that Wix is actually caring, so much so that they have tools in place to help and support, people who want to create inclusive experiences for everyone and meet legal compliances. Any questions so far? Let me know in the comment section. George, I will be waiting for you to say something, but for now, I will keep on going. So this is exciting. Now, quick demo. I'm going to show you quickly how a person who is navigating the website with a keyboard, not everyone can navigate a website with a mouse. Let me just tell you, not everyone can navigate a website with a mouse for different reasons. But a person using a keyboard will be navigating a website and, interact or shop like everyone. So in this short video, I have a screen capture of a good website that is kind of inclusive and accessible, and a website that is a little bit more challenging. I hope you can hear it. George, let me know if you can hear, but I'm going to press play and show you that demo.
I think we can only hear it through your speakers. I don't think we can actually hear it. Yeah, let me know in the chat if you can hear it. I can't hear it. Yeah, it looks like people cannot hear it. Do we have another way of providing this? This is a screen recording, right?
Yes, it's a screen recording. I have a video separate from the demo itself that I can show. But basically, what is happening, I can just explain. Basically, what is happening, as you see me tabbing on the screen, on the on-screen keyboard, I am navigating with a keyboard on the website. And as I am pressing, you will see an outline showing where the focus of the keyboard is. And that's really how a person who is using a keyboard can see where they're going. And if that outline is not visible, well, guess what? The person will not be able to navigate that website because they don't know where they are. And so if you saw it at the beginning, that's what I was doing. Let's see. So to navigate backward, I'm pressing the Shift Tab key, and you can see me navigating backward. And if I want to activate, I will press the Enter key. And that's pretty much it. You can see exactly how you're navigating with the keyboard. Now, I'm going to be showing the second website. And on this website, I'm going to do pretty much the same navigation with my keyboard. I'm going to be pressing the Tab key to move forward. But I cannot see any outline on the website, which kind of frustrated me because I couldn't really tell where I am. I see like a URL popping at the bottom, but really nothing. So I was like, wait a minute, if I can't see where I am, I'm not navigating this website. I'm just going to drop it. That's it. Yeah. And I couldn't go further. I just abandoned the website. Basically, that's what happened. I don't know if people were able to see this interaction. George, were you able to see the interaction? Were you able to hear my voice, at least when I was speaking?
Yes. And I think as somebody who uses keyboard navigation myself, because it's just easier sometimes, especially when you're working across multiple monitors, when you don't have that and there's a hiccup in your workflow. So you're optimizing not just for people who rely on it 24/7, but also like the power users who just want to use it because
exactly
it's more efficient.
Yes, and I do the same thing. I use the keyboard a lot more sometimes than the mouse. And I just feel like it's faster. And sometimes there are keyboard shortcut that I can use, and I'm fine with that. So again, when you are making your website inclusive and accessible and operable, for example, with the keyboard, this is fantastic. You are attracting and retaining more people engaging with your content. Let's see with a screen reader. I don't know. Have you ever used a screen reader before? Please let me know in the chat or in the comment. If you haven't, you are going to hear it right now. Perfect. So let's move to the next slide where I have my screen reader. The screen reader will be a little bit louder than my voice, so hopefully you might be able to hear that screen reader. So I'm going to be navigating again the same website, Microsoft, and also the Real Fruit Bubble Tea, which is the second web page. All right.
Skip to main banner landmark clickable.
George, were you able to hear the screen reader?
Yes, we're all good there.
Okay, all good there. Okay, perfect. So I'm going to do the same navigation there, but with the screen reader. And on the right, you will see the screen reader speech viewer, which is the little window where you see a little bit more text. And for those who are not able to hear properly, you can read as well and see how that navigation feels like. And this is me just explaining a little bit, not knowing that you guys are not going to be able to hear it. So screen reader usually are used by people who are blind or people with low vision or people who are dyslexic as well.
And write down link Xbox. Contextual menu navigation landmark list with 9 items. Clickable button collapsed Game Pass. Clickable button collapsed games. Clickable button collapsed devices. Visited link play. Clickable button collapsed. Clickable button collapsed community. Clickable button collapsed support. Clickable button collapsed my Xbox. Clickable button collapsed more.
And if I want to activate, I can just press the enter key.
Collapsed. Out of list all Microsoft menu navigation landmark list with 1 item button collapsed all Microsoft. Out of list search landmark clickable button collapsed search xbox.com. Link 0 items in shopping cart. Link sign into your account.
Flora, do you have an example of where we don't have, like this is well off my site. I know Microsoft cares about this, but do you have something that shows people, since we're kind of running out on time, or do you have something that shows people what an inaccessible website looks like with the screen reader?
That is just coming next. Yes. So let me show you exactly what it is. Right here, we are moving toward the second part, which is going to be this part, and I'm just moving a tiny bit further. So it's easy to see how things are rendered. Yeah, right here.
2 main character, home, Real Fruit, Google Chrome, link home, link menu, link be real, link careers, link location, link contact, menu button collapsed sub-menu delivery partners, button collapsed find a location near you, link Francais, main landmark link heading level 3 delivery.
So you will hear heading level 3 delivery pickup gift card. It's provided separately, but it's
link heading level 3 pickup.
Incorrect.
Link heading level 3 gift cards. Button.
So if you're not used to this, right, like it's incredibly important just to hear the structure. But like I close my eyes. If this is your first time hearing it, close your eyes and try to navigate a website this way and understand how important that structure is.
Yes.
Heading level 2 are gift cards.
In some element, it just says clickable, button. Without providing any context, the person will not be able to tell what element am I accessing right now.
Link refruitbubble.com. Link refruitbubble.com. Link refruitbubble.com.
Again, you can hear it just say link refer bubble tea, link refer bubble tea. It doesn't have any context, and that is a challenge. And then it will just make someone, a customer, a user, just leave that website and move
Yes.
on.
And I'm just mindful of time, so we just go. Yes, we just so we can have time to get to the tell section as well. but this is a great demonstration.
I see a few people saying yes. Okay, perfect. So this is really good. Let's move forward. So this is the end, literally. Crystal, good timing. This is the end, literally. Some of the resources that you can use to leverage or to upskill your knowledge around accessibility could be just go to the WCAG 2.1 and you will find more context. You can also check the European Accessibility Act for added context. You can check also largest web accessibility lawsuit, which I like because it gives you details around what has been failing around accessibility and how much people paid. We have also accessibility tools like the Wix accessibility tools, Wave Scanner, and much more. We also provide, in my company, we do provide a bi-weekly accessibility training, which is free. If you want to be joining that, just send me an email at info@linoratech.com to receive an invitation. It's actually very useful, and that's it. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
With me.
It was a fantastic presentation. Everyone really enjoyed your energy. And to anyone who's wondering, we will be sharing Flora's slides as well, and you can check out her presentation later on. So I'm just going to add Tal to the stage, and George, who's been in the comments. Tal, are you ready to share about some of the incredible things that the Wix team has been building around accessibility?
Sure. Flora, thank you so much. That was a fascinating deck. Thank you so much. I enjoyed it a lot. So with that, we don't have a lot of time. So I will share my screen quickly and we'll start.
Okay.
You guys see my screen?
Where are we? Nearly. Yes, adding to stage. I'm going to come off. Add to stage.
So we're good to go. You see my screen? Great. So hi, everyone. I'm very excited to be here. I'm Tal Bavli, and I'm product manager for Wix Accessibility and SEO tools at Wix. And I'm very excited to talk with you about some of the features that Wix offers to help you make your site more accessible. So with that, a short notice. I'm very pregnant, 9 months. So if I will take a few breaks to take a deep breath or a sip of water, bear with me. I will try my best to do it as streamlined as possible. So yeah, let's start. So we are going to talk first about Accessibility Wizard, which is the core product that Wix offers. But before that, just an explanation about how Wix approaches accessibility in general. This is something that is super important for us. We care a lot about accessibility, and we are trying our best to make sure that every component, every app that we're releasing will be accessible from the get-go. So you will have a solid infrastructure to start with an accessible site. The Accessibility Wizard comes into place where your content and the design decisions that you're making on your site can cause accessibility issues. So for those of you who are not aware, the Accessibility Wizard is a tool that helps you detect and fix accessibility issues right from the same place. We are very proud of this tool because most of the tools out there in the accessibility industry don't offer detection and automated fix flows. So this is something that we hope that you value, and we're keeping improving it as we go. We first launched the Wizard in 2020, as Laura said. So we just a few months ago released the new Accessibility Wizard in Studio, and we are now rolling it out to the Wix editor. So both editors will have the same experience, same issue detection. You will be able to see what you've done good and what you need to improve. So let's move on to a quick demo to show you how the wizard works in action. In this demo, I'm going to show you the wizard in Studio, but again, it's going to be available very soon to all users across both editors. So to access the wizard, I will go to the site checker, I will click scan, and the duration of the scan will be impacted by the amount of pages that I have on the site, the apps that I have on the site. But the good part is that once a page is ready with the issues that the wizard was detecting, you will be able to access it and start working on it. So in this example, we have 3 detected issues on the home page. I can access it while the scan is still running. The first issue that I want to show you is heading structure. Heading structure, as Flora just showed you, will help screen reader users to make sure that the site and the hierarchy of the headings is logic and make sure. Sorry about it. I will skip to where I was. Cool. So in this case, the issue that I have on the homepage is that I'm missing H1. So I'll set the name of the hotel as H1, and then I will notice that I have another issue with skipped heading. So I'll choose it, I will set the heading as H1, click apply, and that's it. The next issue that I want to show you is the alt text. Basically, as you know, alt text is really important for accessibility and SEO. Every image on your site that convey important content needs to have alt text. In this case, I am missing 4 alt text of my images. I can create it manually, as I just show here. And I can also decide that I want to do it with AI. This is a feature that we just released 2 months ago. You can generate it with a click of a button, but it's always important to review the alt text that we're generating. We try to do our best. We follow every best practice that it comes to SEO and accessibility when crafting the prompt. So hope you like it if you haven't used it. So we recommend to use it. And the last issue that I want to show you in action is the color contrast. So here I have an issue with a text element. I can change the color from the wizard, or simply choose the color that I want to change to from the color picker. Once I will finish with the page, the wizard will verify that I actually made all the content accessible, that I don't have any other issues, and I will move on to the next page. Here, I just want to show you that we also support alt text for products and other verticals today. You can create alt text in bulk to all your images at once, and we are going to roll out it to all verticals very soon. So once I will finish with the detected issues, I will see that I need to go over to the manual tasks. And this is really important part, because when it comes to accessibility, there's no 1% accessible. It's always important to go over your pages, to manually check them with screen reader, and follow the best practices. Here is a list of like some of the best practices that we took from the web content guidelines. So it's really important to make sure that you also testing and you taking it seriously, like the first section, like the first tab with the detected issues. So here is how you can access the Accessibility Wizard in Wix Studio. So you have the site checker, you have also the tools menu. In Classic, you can access it from the site settings menu. And we also launched a few months ago the Accessibility Monitoring widget that helps you access the Accessibility Wizard from your business manager. It's live for Classic. Once you will scan your site, you will see here the amount of issues. We're making some improvements to it, so it will be more accurate and will give you more details. So it's now live for Classic, rolling out to Studio very soon. And more things that are coming soon to the Accessibility Wizard. So very, very soon, from the demo, you might notice that we covered mainly main pages. So we're going to release very soon full vertical support, and it means that you are going to see issues for all your vertical pages as well. In a very clear way, you will be able to see, like you see for main pages, you will be able to see all the issues that we managed to detect, not only alt text as I show. And it's going to cover all the verticals that Wix has. This is one thing very, very soon. The next thing that we are going to add is more accessibility rules that we are going to add based on WCAG. So make sure to come back to the wizards if you make changes or if you haven't, just to make sure that there is no something new that we added and you don't support it. And lastly, more AI tools that are going to be added to the wizard hopefully this year. And that's basically it when it comes to the new features that we're working on. I hope you like the Accessibility Wizard. Crystal, you want to take it over?
Yeah, I just added this slide in terms of if you can share it again. So I added that slide and I'll send it in the deck later on. And it's basically, we have lots of articles in our KDs about, how to use the Accessibility Wizard, how to access the Accessibility Wizard, all of that sort of stuff. And to bring the whole group back together, we have just a couple of minutes for some questions. Thank you so much, Tal. Thank you so much, Flora, for sharing your knowledge and for sharing.
It on time. You have time for questions.
We do. We answered a few as we went. So, George, you look like you're ready to.
Yeah, I'm dying to jump in here. I want to thank Alana Caporal. I'm sorry if that name is incorrect, for some great suggestions on making our product even easier to use for accessibility. Hopefully we'll be able to implement that feedback on adding your alt text to the media manager instead of on the specific page that you're mentioning. And also we will look into that accessibility credit certification for partners. But I wanted to answer something really quickly, and I feel like it's going to cover a lot of you. I'm going to put it on screen here. I already did answer in the chat, but is alt text purely descriptive, or can we add SEO preferred word combinations? I'm just going to answer this because we only have a short amount of time. Do not stuff your alt text with keywords. If there's like your product in it, then obviously use your product name. That's the keyword. Fine, go for it. But do not go out of your way to add that in there, because eventually, and I've seen this all over e-commerce websites, all the images have the same name. It's terrible for the user experience. You're not going to convert the people you're looking to convert, and you're not going to achieve what you're looking to achieve in the search engine either. They know the game. So forget that. Stick to the right descriptions and then add the keyword if it's pertinent. Thank you very much for that question. I wanted to ask this question. This is also more about not specifically Wix, but a good accessibility question and taxes in general. How does, sorry, not this one. We're gonna hopefully get to that. But is schema markup part of good accessibility? It's an interesting question. I don't know this myself. I feel like a Crystal or Flora.
If I can jump in here, one of the things that schema markup does is, and particularly the schema on Wix and Wix Studio, which is built into a lot of the page templates, is it makes your website more accessible with a small a for Google's rich results. And those are different search features on Google. So that will make the information more accessible to more tools that are using schema markup. And so Google uses schema markup for some of their features, which people who are using the accessibility features on Google will have better access to information that you have. Similarly, there are things like your search bar that you can declare in your schema markup. You can also declare accessibility features in your schema markup and things like that. And when people are using assistants like voice assistants or Google Home, which a lot of people who are less who find screens challenging will use, the schema markup will make your website more usable for those tools as well. So not directly, but yes.
sort of it depends answer, but really if you're focusing on accessibility, you need to be focusing on your domain as well as the schema markup, because wherever people encounter you, that's where the user experience begins, and you need to support accessibility all across. Thank you so much. I think we're out of time. Crystal, any closing notes?
I think there was another question about AI tools. We've got lots of AI tools that are coming through from the Accessibility Wizard, which Tal mentioned. Flora shared some fantastic resources there. But I think also it's important, anybody who's on this webinar, to realize that, as Flora said, you don't brush your teeth once. That was my favorite line. We continue to build. We're continuing to build here and watch this space, because there will be some more news coming from our accessibility team in the next few weeks as well. So thank you to everyone for joining us and making the time. And good luck out there.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thumbs up. Press thumbs up. Thank you. Okay.